Hey guys, so this video is going to be a little different. We thought for Sundays, we don't have much going on. We just go to church, so we don't really have a lot of footage. So we thought for Sundays maybe we do something a little different. So today we're just going to, since our channel is new still, we're just going to talk about our story. So Ethan and I started dating in 2009. We met at a place that we both worked, and so we dated for 2.5 years, a little over 2.5 years, and we got married in 2011.
So right after we got married, we made a decision that we'd start trying to have kids pretty soon.
So we started trying, and it just wasn't working out for us. So I decided to go see a doctor. To go see my OB doctor, or my gynecologist. He suggested trying a fertility medicine there. So we tried Clomid. 3 rounds were unsuccessful. My body just really wasn't doing anything. So then he said, I can't really do anything else for you. You really need to go see a specialist. So we went to a specialist. We don't really have one right around here, so it was one about an hour away. So we went to a specialist, and he suggested trying injections. So it's like Clomid, but it's a little more, you can adjust your dosage better to get your body to start responding. So we tried a round of injections. The first round was unsuccessful. So we decided the next month to go ahead and do another round. So that round we found out we were pregnant. We found out really soon. We started testing and it came back positive. So we were really excited. We knew there was a possibility of more than one baby. So we went for our first ultrasound at 7 weeks, 7 or 8 weeks. And so we got in the ultrasound room, and they started doing the ultrasound, and the nurse that was doing it, there was 2 nurses in there, and one of the nurse looked at the other nurse and kind of a look like
shock and surprise.
And at this point, we didn't really know what was going on. So then the nurse said, so I see twins. We were like, oh, wow, twins. So, and then she's like, I see another baby. And we were like, what? Wait a minute. And then for a few minutes there, we thought we were having triplets. And then a couple minutes later, she looked at us and said, there's another baby. And at this point, we were so shocked. We were thinking 1 baby when we went into that ultrasound. We had no idea. We were so surprised when they found 4 babies. 4.
So my first thoughts when we was in the ultrasound room was happy, first of all, because we were pregnant.
Yeah.
And second of all, was scared to death. Because I'm just thinking about more babies. There could be more complications. I was thinking about Haley's body and how it would respond. And at the time, the job that Haley was working, it would have been too strenuous on her to carry the babies and also still be working. So I worried about financially, I worried about health-wise.
But most of all, we were just super excited. We were excited and had faith that the babies were gonna be healthy, everything was gonna go good. So this was our first ultrasound picture, A, B, C, and D. So after the ultrasound, our doctor, the nurse brought us to our doctor's, his office. And actually we walked out of the room and the doctor was like standing out there waiting on us. Like his eyes were real big, like So we went to his office, and he then talked to us about selective reduction. And basically it was, he wanted to abort 2 of our babies. And we're not for that at all. We believe that abortion is murder, and there would be no way we could do that. So, we said no, there's no way we can do that. We're just believing that and hoping that everything will be okay. So back up to the ultrasound for a minute. There were 4 heartbeats. The heartbeats were beating perfect. They were all in a perfect range. And so when we went to the doctor's his office, he told us that there was like a less than 5% chance of us miscarrying them. That's what he told us. And he said, you're already 8 weeks along. The heartbeats are perfect. It's not likely that you're going to miscarry. So we were very hopeful walking out of that doctor's office, and scared but hopeful. We were just so excited. Everything was going good. I just had a lot of sickness. I was, which is normal during pregnancy. So I had a pretty perfect pregnancy up until I think it was 16 weeks. So I woke up Tuesday morning, and Ethan was at work, and I felt like something was off. I was still in the bed at this point. I was kind of crampy, and there was just, my instinct said that something's off. So I went to the bathroom, and I felt a big gush of water. And at this point, I didn't even know that this could happen this early. So it didn't even hit me that it was my water breaking. Called Ethan. My mom works like 5 minutes away from me, so she came right over, and we got in the car. I called the doctor's office. They said, you need to come right away, which was an hour away. So I called Ethan, and his work was on the way to the doctor's office. And so we went and picked him up, drove to the doctor's office, went in there, and the doctor did a test. And at this point I wasn't sure what this test was, but it's like a swab that he did, and it come back positive. And he said that my water broke. It was making me emotional. We went down to labor and delivery, and our doctor wasn't very hopeful at this point. We found out that baby A's sac had ruptured. Now all 4 babies were in different sacs. None of them were sharing. They all had different sacs. All 4 had different placentas. We found out that baby's A's sac had ruptured. I was stable at this point. I had no signs of labor coming yet. I wasn't having contractions or anything. So after the doctor had talked to us for a little bit, they decided that it was best for me to go home because of infections at the hospital. I was way more likely to get infections rather than my own home environment. So we went home, scared to death. I was scared to go home in case I were to deliver a baby at home. So I think a couple days later, I ended up going back to the hospital because I was hurting maybe I was in pain or something. I ended up coming back home. Woke up Sunday morning having contractions. And they sent us home, and we were very hopeful that everything was going to be okay. My fluid would regain, which it was a small possibility that it could. So Sunday morning I woke up with contractions. I called the hospital, and they said to come in. So on my way to the hospital, I was in a lot of pain. So they wheeled me right up to labor and delivery floor, and within 20 minutes, baby A was delivered. and it was the worst pain I've probably ever been in. Not, and like physical pain, well, emotional too, but even with our daughter now, labor wasn't that bad. So, and
there was no time for an epidural or any type of medicine. It was basically, they took her in. I was there, laid her in a bed, and and basically it was on from then.
Within 20 minutes he was there.
Yeah.
At this point, the placenta had not came out, and they were hopeful that within 24 hours it would. If it hadn't within 24 hours, then they would have to do something. I mean, it wasn't likely that it was going to come out on its own. So we were hoping at this point that the placenta would come out on its own, and then the other babies would stay put till at least 24 weeks. And at this point, I'm 17 weeks. So we were hoping to get to 24 weeks, but 2 days later I delivered the other 3 babies. There wasn't no stopping labor after that, which we knew there was a small chance that the other babies would make it that long anyways. I knew I was I really thought I was starting to develop an infection, and that was really dangerous to me too. And there really just wasn't anything, we really just couldn't stop the other babies from coming. So 2 days later, we delivered our other 3 babies. I was in labor for 14 hours. I think 14 hours with our last 3. So our first baby that we delivered, we named him Jackson, and he was 5 ounces. He's very small. They were all just very small. We got to hold all 4 babies. So he was 5 ounces, and these were his footprints. So our next baby that was delivered, her name is Emerson, and she weighed 4.1 ounces. And this one's hard to see, but this was her footprint. And our third baby that we delivered, his name was Jace, and he weighed 4.9 ounces. And this one's hard to see too, but these were his footprints. And then our fourth baby her name is Ellie, and she weighed 3 ounces, so she was the smallest. And these were her footprints.
So after Haley delivered all 4 babies, I believe that reality really started setting in. At first, whenever you go into the hospital, everything's just so fast, and everything happens so fast, and
you can't really process what's going on.
Yeah, it takes you a really long.
You can't process it.
It takes a long time to really, it's hard to control like what you think and your emotions, when you're going through something like that. But after it was all said and done with, and we got moved to a separate room, and I think that's when reality kind of started setting in, that Haley was no longer pregnant. The expectation of having 4 babies was gone. And up to this point, we had started getting our house ready. We had ordered cribs.
We had car seats here. We had all the furniture ordered. We had their car seats, and
we had painted their rooms.
Their nurseries were getting ready.
So, and just to know that you did all that,
and you're gonna have to come home to
car seats and
empty car seats, empty nurseries.
So that was really hard to process at the time. So 2 days later, we were discharged from the hospital, and we had actually called and asked our parents if they could close the nursery doors, just because we really wasn't prepared for that right now.
We weren't prepared to come home to face reality, I guess.
And actually, it took a while for us to get enough courage
to actually open the
to
doors.
open those doors.
We come home and just learn. We just had to trust on each other, lean on each other. We knew that God had a bigger plan for our lives, and we knew that our babies are in heaven, and we believe that, and we believe that we will see them one day.
This was like the first really big trial
In our marriage
that we have went through as a married couple, and it's not really if you could pick a trial, this would probably not be the one that you would pick. I believe that the Lord set this trial in front of us for a reason, and that we just couldn't see it yet. We may never understand, why the Lord decided to take our 4 babies, but we believe that when we get to heaven, we will understand the reason.
Our babies will never have to face the trials in this world, face heartache.
We believe our babies will never have to experience disappointment or heartache, or they'll never know anything other than what heaven's like. Just to know that they're okay, and we believe that they're okay. Although it's hard to accept at first, and you want to get angry, and you want to get down and disappointed, and it just took some time to let that sink in, that we believe that we serve a God that loves us, and we believe that He never tries to hurt us in any way. Trials will come, and they won't be easy, but we believe that if you trust in Him, and you lean on Him, and if you lean on each other, on your spouse, we believe that God will bring you through it, and we believe that He'll make you stronger, or He'll make you a better person for it. We believe that that God makes no mistakes,
And it really brought us closer together as a husband and wife. This trial did. So we knew that we wanted to try to have another baby soon, and we knew that it was not likely for me to get pregnant on my own, so we wanted to go back to the fertility doctor. So we done the same thing. We just took a little bit of a different approach to try to, hopefully just get pregnant with one baby. We were scared to death to get pregnant with more than one baby. So 4 months later, we were pregnant with Delaney. We had Delaney 1 year after we lost our quadruplets. We lost them in January, and we had Delaney in January of the next year. So she was definitely our miracle baby, and just such a blessing. She's been a blessing to our family for the past 2 years, and we definitely don't know what we do without her. She's just such a blessing in our lives.
We just wanted someone to know that you're not the only one that's went through this, or that's going through this. There's people like you, and that's one thing that me and Haley really kind of relied on to get us through, was just hearing other people's stories of loss, then having a baby after loss,
Hearing about their rainbow after the storm.
And so that gave us hope that there's people out there that this has happened to. It's not easy. It's hard. So me and Haley decided to tell our story just to help somebody.
We have friends that are going through similar situations right now. Maybe not the same kind of situation, but they've lost babies. They're hopeful to be able to get pregnant again and be able to carry to term and have their miracle baby that they've been waiting on.
So if you're going through something similar to this, or you know someone who is, me and Haley just wanted to put our story out there, just to kind of throw a little bit of a lifeline to let someone know that there is hope. There is a rainbow after the storm. There is a new chapter, to your book. So never think that it's the end, because it's not. We just believe the Lord's always got something in store for everybody. And even whenever it seems like he don't, he does. And
so Jelani Hope, which is her name, definitely gave us hope for our future. And we hope that this will be a blessing to you.
So that's our story. And here's hope to your future and everybody's future, our future, that this road don't end here. We believe that we are a success story. We believe that we are an example of God's grace and His mercy that He showed us, that even through our trials, He decided to bless us. And
we hope that this may be a blessing to you or someone that you know going through a similar situation.